Hey guys, let's get more news from Steelers, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Steelers QB Mason Rudolph is preparing to be the starter in Week 16, despite Kenny Pickett's potential return. Sitting at 7-7, the Pittsburgh Steelers currently find themselves on the outside looking into the AFC's playoff picture, trailing the 7th seed Indianapolis Colts by just one game after losing to them in Week 15. During that game, Steelers quarterback Mitch Trubisky was benched in favor of Mason Rudolph, who is expecting to be the starter in Week 16. Rudolph addressed the media this week to speak on his expectations for this week and his preparation to be the team's starter, despite the possibility of starting quarterback Kenny Pickett returning from an ankle injury that has caused him to miss the team's past 2 games. "I'm going to take the reps that I was given today and do the best with it," Rudolph said. Despite the possibility of Pickett returning, Rudolph is doing his best to be prepared if his name is called upon. After speaking with head coach Mike Tomlin, Rudolph believes he is playing this week. "I talked to Coach Tomlin for the final decision, but as far as I know, I'm playing and that's the way I'm treating it," Rudolph stated. In 10 career starts, Rudolph has a 5-4-1 record. In those 10 starts, he's completed 60.66% of his passes, throwing for 2,081 yards, and has a 13-10 touchdown-to-interception ratio. Up next for Rudolph and the Steelers is a matchup against their divisional rival Cincinnati Bengals, who are also one game ahead of them in the AFC's playoff picture. In other words, this game has massive postseason implications. Steelers' Eddie Faulkner delivers message on QB Mitch Trubisky. Wins and losses are always a determining factor in the NFL. But successful backup quarterbacks often simply give their teams a chance to win. Unfortunately for the Pittsburgh Steelers, backup quarterback Mitch Trubisky hasn't really given the team much of an opportunity to still win with him behind center this season. Trubisky has played in 4 games during 2023, all of which have been Steelers losses. In 3 of those contests, Trubisky played at least a half. In his first start of 2023, Trubisky gave the Steelers a chance to win in the final minutes of the 4th quarter. But that was after the team fell behind the previously 2-10 New England Patriots by 18 points. Trubisky had an interception and nearly a couple more picks in the embarrassing defeat. The Steelers coaching staff, though, isn't giving up on Trubisky. In fact, interim offensive coordinator Eddie Faulkner seemed to double down on Trubisky while speaking to the media on December 13. "He's out there just slinging that thing, having fun, and playing ball," Faulkner said of Trubisky when he's at his best, via Steelers Depot's Matthew Marksey. "I think that's what Mitch is. He's a guy that's gonna push the ball down the field and take shots and opportunities. Hopefully we'll continue to build on that and what his personality is." Trubisky will make his 2nd consecutive start against the Indianapolis Colts on December 16. Trubisky began the 2022 season as Pittsburgh's starter behind center. He posted a 1-3 record before losing his job to Kenny Pickett. But Trubisky salvaged the 2022 season with a great relief performance in Week 6 to beat Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Trubisky then won his next start in Week 15, which began the team's 4-game winning streak to end the season. It's been a different story for the 29-year-old quarterback this year. His sample size isn't very big, but Trubisky has showcased questionable accuracy and decision-making in 4 appearances. He owns a 60.7% completion percentage, which is his lowest since his rookie season. Trubisky has also thrown 3 interceptions on just 84 pass attempts. Trubisky has dealt with interception problems throughout his career. But he's also been known to strike on big passing plays down the field. During his Pro Bowl season in 2018, Trubisky averaged a career-high 7.4 yards per attempt and 11.2 yards per completion. It sounds like Faulkner desires a game plan where the team's offense doesn't minimize Trubisky's risk of throwing an interception, but rather capitalizes on the quarterback's aggressiveness. The Steelers could certainly use more big passing plays. While the team moved back into a postseason spot despite its Thursday night football loss because of the results in Week 14, a 3rd straight defeat in Week 15 could sink the Steelers. There are 6 teams with a 7-6 record in the AFC. Pittsburgh is currently first among those teams because of tiebreakers, but a loss to the Colts could drop the Steelers to 11th in the conference. "It's playoff football 4 weeks early," said Steelers center Mason Cole, according to TribLive.com's Joe Rutter. Trubisky has started 2 playoff games in his career, both of which were losses. But he didn't play terribly in either game. The Steelers may need Trubisky's best must-win performance to stay in the playoff hunt another week. Heitrader, CB Bryce Callahan, could be a plausible, late free agent addition for Pittsburgh. With training camp starting up in less than a week, the Pittsburgh Steelers look to be in a good spot regarding their roster prior to the start of the 2023 season. The front office has done a lot of work to overhaul the group from a year ago, using free agency, the draft, and trades to acquire talent on both sides of the football to construct a playoff contending roster. However, one position that still appears to be up in the air for Pittsburgh, with the preseason quickly approaching, is slot cornerback. The team added free agent CB Shandon Sullivan on the final day of the 2023 NFL Draft as a veteran with starting experience in the slot, but his resume isn't the strongest following a down 2022 campaign. While Pittsburgh has mentioned the possibility of having fellow free agent acquisition Patrick Peterson factor into the slot as well, they should be closely watching this group and its performance in training camp to determine if making an outside addition would be the best course of action. We saw Pittsburgh use a similar process with the ILB position, watching their in-house options before deciding to trade for ILB Joe Schaubert prior to the start of the 2021 season. He was a boon for the Bolts, starting 11 of the 15 games he was available for, Kay said regarding Callahan. He earned a decent 64.2 Pro Football Focus grade in those contests while besting or matching his previous career highs in interceptions, 3, one of which was returned for his first career score, tackles, 47, and pass defenses, 6. The Steelers have ties to Callahan as a college prospect coming out of Rice, hosting him for a pre-draft visit back in 2015. He came in for a visit the same day as Steven Nelson, a former Steelers CB who played several seasons with the club. While Callahan is 31 years old, Pittsburgh has shown a willingness to sign defensive free agents past the age 30 mark under Omar Khan, adding Peterson and OLB Marcus Golden this offseason. Callahan is also a more proven player than Shandon Sullivan in the slot, having started 56 games in his NFL career with 9 career INTs and 35 PBUs. No one should expect Pittsburgh to sign Callahan tomorrow, but if Sullivan and Duke Dawson struggle early on in training camp and the first couple of preseason games, we could see the Steelers make a move to stabilize the slot corner position prior to the start of the regular season. Callahan may be a bit of a gamble when it comes to his injury history, but he is an experienced, productive defender that could slide right in as Pittsburgh's starting slot CB come week 1. And you fan, what do you think of the Bryce Callahan situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.